support shoes have never been super attractive. First of all, there's not many of them, and the ones that are out there on the market are not necessarily super innovative, super appealing. Maybe the Adrenaline GTS 24 is changing this. Let's see. Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex. In today's video, we are reviewing the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 24. GTS stands for Go to Support. You can read it right here on the medial side of the shoe in the heel area. This shoe was sent to us by Brooks, but they don't get to preview this video. As always, it is transparent, and I will give you a full rundown of what I think, the good, the bad, and the zesty about this shoe. Looking at the specs, we have 321 grams in my size US 11 EU 45. The men's sample size is about 290 grams. Very interestingly, before weighing the shoe on the scale here in the office and after running in it, so I already knew a bit how it was running, I would have guessed something much lower in terms of numbers. I was quite surprised when I saw 321 grams for this shoe. It runs lighter than the number on the scale might suggest, which is a good thing. 34 millimeters of stack height in the heel, 22 in the forefoot for that 12 millimeter drop, very aggressive drop from heel to toe, which has some advantages, and we'll come back to that. And also this is a fairly rare number. We had shoes in the past with that 10 to 12 millimeters drop, but nowadays it tends to gravitate a bit more towards the one digit figures. It has some upsides, downsides, and we will discuss it. Oh, and yeah, price point, 150 euros, $150. Great price point, very competitive against the Ghost. This is, the Adrenaline has always been the support, friend, sister, brother, whatever you want to call it, of the Ghost. And that price point is also fairly similar. So if you feel like the Ghost is not supportive enough for you, you may want to look into the Adrenaline GTS 24. And if you don't need support, then maybe you should just consider the Ghost or not, because this is actually really interesting as a replacement almost to the Ghost 16. Looking at the upper of the shoe, we have a fairly traditional upper. I'm kind of like, nothing special, but nothing bad. And this is where my assessment of the upper almost ends. I would say the only drawback, if there is one, is that the tongue is not gusseted at all. It sits nicely on top of your foot. I think the lockdown would be better with the gussets. That being said, the comfort, the fit are everything you expect from a Brooks shoe. It is very comfortable. It fits my foot perfectly. It's on the, let's say, more narrow side of things when compared to Brooks shoes, but you have that hugging feeling that Brooks can create with their uppers. This is a very traditional Brooks colorway, nothing fancy, nothing wrong with it. It's not super breathable, but I don't need any breathability at the moment with the temperatures that we are having right now here in Brussels. The heel is very stout, and that is actually a good thing when you're looking for support, for rigidity. It really locks your heel perfectly in place, in position, and it doesn't move. The insole is removable, and that's all I can say in terms of the upper. The laces are okay, right length, right material, nothing crazy about them. The good stuff happens in the midsole. There's a DNA Loft V3 midsole compound. It is the same midsole compound as you would find on the Go 16 and on the Glycerin 21. It's a nitrogen injected EVA based compound, meaning that you have that lower density, that softness without it being mushy or plush. When I say softness, be careful, it isn't soft. It's more on the, let's say, average side of things when it comes to that scale between softness and firmness. But you can really feel how that nitrogen infused EVA is more compliant and more pleasant to run in than a regular EVA based foam. And then the support side of it, well, first of all, you have width of the platform, which is decent, if not, more than average, and that already allows to have some inherent stability. And then obviously the elephant in the room, the Go to Support guide rails on the lateral and also in particular medial side. They create that rigidity that, you see the flexion is quite limited in the shoe, and they also act as sidewalls a bit higher than the level where your foot is sitting to allow the collapsing on the medial side too much. It's something that I think is not as noticeable as I expected or as some other support shoes would make you feel. You definitely notice that you are more aligned, that your foot strike gait cycle is a bit more controlled, but it's not dramatic. I think what I really noticed in this shoe is the very high drop, 12 millimeters, you can really feel it. It is putting a bit more weight on your forefoot. It's kind of asking you to heel strike, but at the same time, put more weight on the forefoot in the, let's say, mid stance of your gait cycle. It's not demanding and it's not taxing at all on the lower legs, on the lower limbs of your body. This is a shoe that is really easy to run in, and I think that I would easily recommend to people who are beginner runners, even intermediate runners that want to have that easy, no-brainer type of shoe in their rotation. The ride itself is much better than I expected. I already touched on it, but the go-to support GTS rails are not too noticed when running, which is a good thing in my opinion. You can feel the support and you can feel the effects of the support without really noticing the support itself. It's softer than the Ghost, I would say. It has a bit more oomph feeling in the heel compared to the Ghost. For me, my preference is this is a shoe that I enjoy running in, with a caveat being that here in the forefoot, I tend to lack a bit of that extra material to protect my metatarsals and to allow me to have a bit more of that, material to push on at toe off, but that's really personal preferences. If this shoe had my preferred 5 to 8 millimeters drop, 5, 6, 7 millimeter drop, then it also wouldn't be that great option for beginner to intermediate runners in need of stability. I was actually really surprised when I tried this shoe because I was not super, excited about it in the first place, to be honest. But then I realized, hey, this might be a hidden gem in the Brooks lineup. And I think hidden gem might be a bit too much, but it's a nice shoe, unexpected discovery for me. I believe many people should or could consider instead of the Ghost. You then have the Glycerin GTS if you're looking for a more premium, more plush experience in terms of comfort. Still with that go-to support system. The Glycerin is a bit more expensive as well. If you are looking for that Ghost with a bit more support, then you have the Adrenaline, and I think it's doing its job really well. Also, nothing to complain about. I thought it was actually grippier than what I expected, which is a good thing. And given the width and the thickness, of the rubber here on the outsole, you should have plenty of mileage, like on many Brooks shoes. Value for money, 150 euros is a good price point for a shoe that can be your daily trainer and a proper workhorse for a long time. So a good value for money. This is it for this review. Let's link to the review of the Ghost 16 right here. Thanks a lot for watching. Enjoy your run today. Enjoy your ride and go beyond your limits. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.